This is a perfect example of a founder education story ad. Let's break down why it works so well.
Here's how we almost killed our own chocolate company before we even launched.
So first of all, great hook. Here's how we killed our own chocolate company before we even launched. And that's a curiosity gap that they probably won't even answer until like way further in the video, because they want people to keep watching and they want people with that question lingering in the back of their mind stay until that curiosity gap is closed.
The first choice we made was to sweeten with dates and not sugar. Dates are nature's
So now they're pretty much indirectly going into their USPs, their unique selling points. And this main one they're talking about now is the fact that they use dates instead of sugar.
most nutrient-dense sweetener. They are rich in fiber, magnesium, and antioxidants.
And they're pretty much educating on the benefits of the product without even like saying like, oh, the reason the product is so great is because of X, Y, Z, wherever it may be. They're using storytelling and education to convey the benefits of the product without even mentioning it.
But they are also about 7 times more expensive than refined sugar. Oh, and then there's cacao. 4.5 years ago when we
And they're also sort of indirectly addressing a common objection, which would probably be, why is the chocolate so expensive? I'd imagine this type of chocolate very expensive.
started sourcing, direct trade organic cacao costed way more than regular commodity beans. Fair trade was already a step up, but we wanted to go further. We paid premiums for certified organic
So still sort of answering that objection why it's so expensive, which would probably be something that's very common for them.
beans and paid farmers well above their fair trade standard. That decision made everything harder, but it was the only way that we could do things with real integrity. And today, these choices are even more difficult. With global shortages of cacao, fewer farmers are even certifying organic because they can sell their beans for the
And they're sort of, by doing this and with this educational piece on the type of products they use and that sort of thing and how they use the most expensive stuff, they're also positioning themselves as like the market leaders and the premium option by just purely by telling the story and purely by educating this way. They're positioning themselves as the market leaders.
the same price without it. But we fight to keep that standard, even if it means that we are climbing uphill.
And they've also just shared like their mission pretty much, like one of their core values, like they said, like they want to pay farmers way above fair trade price, whatever it may be. And they bring people along for that story, for that mission, and conveying that value, which is a value that people are going to love.
Lastly, there's packaging. We committed to compostable packaging because we didn't want to add to the 29 billion pounds of consumer packaged goods that accumulate yearly.
And again, conveying their mission. They don't want to add to all the plastic of the world. They're doing a great job of using story to convey that mission and those values. And that's what brings customers along for the ride.
Even though sourcing these compostable materials is expensive and full of delays, it is slower, it is harder, but it is the only right choice. So why would we do this? It makes survival almost impossible. The only way that it works is if people value a chocolate bar that puts them before profit.
And again, this is positioning them as a premium choice, as the right choice, as the good choice. They're using story to differentiate themselves from the competitors and from all the other chocolate in the industry.
A bar that actually cares about your well-being. Chocolate should have always been both nourishing and indulgent, and it should be built on a system where no one gets shorted. Not the farmer, not the maker, not the planet, and definitely not the person enjoying it in the end.
And again, they're now conveying their mission, which will appeal massively to most people who care about the planet, right?
And that is the dream we are fighting for. Harder.
And that line, this is the dream that we're fighting for, they're fully leaning into that mission and conveying those values, which I think is a great aspect of this ad.
Slower, nearly impossible, but worth every second if it means that we can bring chocolate back to
And they're also hijacking a little bit of empathy as well. Like they're saying, you know, farmers don't get short of the producer. They bring a little bit of empathy in. And I think that's a really great aspect of this ad as well.
what we always thought it should be. Here's how we almost
And obviously this is an organic post, so it doesn't go fully into, you know, an offer, a lot of social proof or a CTA at the end, but you could easily turn this into an actual ad by doing so. The only problem you might have with running this as an ad is that the hook might be too broad and that it doesn't attract the right type of audience within the hook. You might be getting the wrong type of audience who isn't really the type of buyer for this, purely because it's so broad and so general. So while it works for organic, it might be the wrong hook for ads. You just have to test it and see. Test it with a few hook variations, test it with hooks targeted towards more of the pain points and desires for the customer, that sort of thing, and see what works. But I think the actual body of the ad itself, most of the ad, is exceptional. If you want access to my library of winning ads you can copy to create your next $100,000 winner in the next 24 hours, comment the word Vault and I'll send it to you.